Śukadeva Gosvāmī is assuring Parikshit Maharaj that whatever process he has described for emancipation, because Parikshit Maharaj is interested in emancipation, because he knows his time is coming closer. So, he is assuring Parikshit Maharaj that whatever he has described in reply to his inquiry is according to the version of the Vedas, Veda-gītā. It is exactly according to ete srutite rupa, Veda-gītā, tvaya abhiprushthe. You have asked an inquiry and I have explained all this, and these are all according to the version of the Vedas. And sanatanecha, and it is eternal truth. This truth will not change. It could be after 5,000 years or it could be many, many years back. This truth will not change. That is called sanatanecha. Evai pura brahmana ahatushta. Now he is referring why his version is accurate. He is saying the same truth was spoken to Pura, long, long ago, Brahmana ahatushta, unto Lord Brahma, who spoken Bhagavan Vasudeva. The Lord himself has spoken to him. Why aradita tushta? Because Brahma worshipped Vasudeva and his Lord is very pleased with him, and that's how he gave this knowledge. So he is quoting the previous authorities to justify his statements. So if you see Śukadeva Gosvāmī, he has been describing the process of emancipation by gradually reaching to higher and higher bands. Because there is a direct process which we are following, Lord Chaitanya's process. But there is these kind of processes are also there. And so Prabhupada is emphasizing that whatever we speak should be Veda-gītā. It should be a version from the Vedas. Anybody says any statement or gives an explanation, he should be able to corroborate with the Vedic version. Like sometimes when we say something, some devotees, they ask, Prabhu, where is the quote? So Prabhupada's quote. So that's important in the we have to stick on to the version of the Acharya or the version of the Vedas. But we should also know that as the when we hear from a senior personality, we should know that he will not deviate from whatever he has heard from the Acharya. Sometimes you may not find exact quotes. Can you show me this verbatim? You may not find. Where did Prabhupada say that you make a golden temple? Where is the quote? Where did Prabhupada say that you have to put marble from Turkey on the flooring? So Prabhupada says, I have given you the framework. He has given a structure, framework he has given. And on top of the framework, how you want to decorate it, how you want to, what colors and this and that Prabhupada has given an option to us. So, if anything is connected to the framework of our philosophy, the structure of our philosophy, the core principles, that nobody can change. So principles cannot be changed. Core principles cannot be changed. But there could be implementational details of how those principles are implemented. Those things can be, there is a facility, there is a freedom that Prabhupada has given. Right? So that's why we cannot go into the details of implementation and say for every detail I need a quote. No, that's not the mood. You should know that Prabhupada has given the principles, broad principles within which we all can happily live together expressing our creativity. Prabhupada has allowed to all of us to express our creativity. We may decorate the deity in a certain way, we can construct the temple in a certain way, we may use certain materials, we don't know. All these things are according to the current creativity and the materials available. But broader principles, yes, nobody can break those. So Prabhupada is saying one has to accept the Vedic version. Nobody can reject the Vedic statements. For example, killing of animals is permitted in Vedic statements, but under certain restrictions. How to kill an animal and to consume, there are some statements are there. They are factual. But Lord Buddha, he rejected those statements. So that's why he has gone out of the Vedic framework. You cannot reject Veda. That's why they are outside the Vedic system. There is a problem at that time that the rampant killing of animals on the basis of they're showing statements from the Vedas. That's because they're not following the rules and regulations. But that doesn't mean you can reject the Vedic statements. So since he has rejected Vedas, so he has is considered to be outside the Vedic system. Anybody who rejects Vedas, they're atheistic. So Prabhupada is saying one has to accept the authority of the Vedas. A common man cannot reject the Veda authority. He has to accept some authority. And he is quoting material scientists, how they are an authority for a common man. Because he has got no idea what is beyond the sky, what is beyond the universe. People have no idea. I think last month, around December 18th or something, there is an article. And they say now it is final. This is the final conclusion. And they repeatedly say this. Every year they say this is the final conclusion. So their conclusion is that on the earth there was life some 3.5 billion years ago. There was life. Till now they are debating that it's not true. And how they found out this? Some place, some museum, they kept some stone for years together. And then with the latest methodologies, they have did some research and then finally they concluded that yes, there was life 3.5 billion years ago. But that life was very primitive. Only microbes, small microbes and viruses were there. And there was no oxygen at that time on the earth. Only recently, the human beings came only recently, and after the oxygen came into the planet. So now anybody who knows Vedic version, like all the devotees who are seated here, they all know what is the Vedic conclusion. They know what the scientist talking is rascaldom. Right? Why? Because life existed many billions and billions of years ago. The material scientist always tries to say life began from a simple form, like a microbe or an amoeba or something, and gradually evolved into complex living being. See, you should know these arguments. The scientific mind you should know. Otherwise, there will be a lot of students. Like I met one student in IIT. He's arguing on all these things. Because they all got exposed to the current scientific versions. They read all this. Please understand, everybody has a curiosity to know what's the origin. Where am I coming from? Everybody has a curiosity. So, these people try to say, the scientists, that we all came from very primitive species, and slowly they all evolved into a complex living entities by means of some multiplying and this and that, some complex phenomena which they are also figuring out. And then we reach at this stage. That's what they wanted to say. But here it is said, Evai Pura Brahmana, long ago, Bhagavan Vasudeva, Krishna has spoken this knowledge to Brahmana, Lord Brahma. Material scientists are saying, long ago, only microbes are there. How can Lord Bhagavan speak to microbes? Right? So, he spoke to most intelligent personality, Lord Brahma. So, Vedic version is that the beginning of life in this universe is from a most intelligent personality, most complex personality called Brahma, Lord Brahma. His body, his power, the way he creates is all mind-boggling. Right? There are living entities coming from his mind, his body, his various parts. And now who heard of all these things? And he is the most intelligent personality because after all he filled up the whole universe with living entities. That's a big achievement, right? When Vishnu created this universe, it's all empty. And the first one who came from his Nabhi, he is Lord Brahma. Brahma doesn't know what to do, what is his role, where is he come from. Down, up and down, he is investigating. On his own, he is unable to. And he was praying to the Lord. Lord also must be watching, Brahma going up and down, going into... He is seeing, the Lord is so small, he is sleeping and then there is a Nabhi and he is seeing, Brahma is going up and down. And then he tells Brahma, do tapa. Brahma is unable to see where the voice has come from. It's not easy to see Krishna's form. So he heard that word tapa, and that's when he did the tapas. And tustaha aradhito. By that tapas and by that worship, he became very satisfied. Krishna became satisfied and he reveals the Vedic knowledge. And he tells Brahma that yes, now you do the secondary creation. Sargo Visarga. There are 10 subject matters in Bhagavatam. Second canto describes what are these 10 subject matters. Sarga Visarga. These are the two. Many are that verse is there. Sarga means the primary creation. That Vishnu, that Lord does. He creates the elements, he creates the universe, he constructs the whole structure is ready. Then comes Brahma. Brahma's main thing is he constructs the bodies of the living entities and he puts them into appropriate positions. Every living entity that we see all around us, everything has come from Brahma. Ultimately. So, it's a false scientific declaration that the life began from simple ones and slowly grown into complex ones. Vedic version doesn't accept this. And it's also not true that the life is not existing. The forms are not existing. Only all the many forms are existing now, they are not existing in the beginning. No, that's also not correct. Vedic version says all 84 lakh species are already available. From the beginning of creation, they're all there. Just that Lord Brahma utilized those molds. 84 lakh molds are there. He utilized that mold and he made a body and then left the jiva. Like whenever we want to do kavacha or whatever, first they'll do a mold Right? So those modes are available. What this species, everything is programmed, everything is ready. Lord Brahma has to put a soul, release one version. That's all. So that's what he has done. All kinds of species came from him. Divine entities came, demons are also. They also came. Brahma's son is Kashyapa, and Kashyapa has two categories of children, two wives, Diti and Aditi. So both demons and demigods are all coming from the same family, same father, Kashyapa. Kashyapa is the son of Brahma. So everything came from, ultimately, from Lord Brahma. So this is the wonderful the explanation of the creation of the species in this world. So, so Prabhupada is saying everything has to be corroborated by Bhagavad-gītā. So this is an important point. Nowadays we receive a lot of messages in WhatsApp and this and that. And sometimes they don't give any reference also. Simply they'll put something. In some internal WhatsApp groups I have seen, some devotees, they question, where is the reference, Prabhu? Can you kindly tell me? And after some time, that Prabhu will come back and say, no, I forwarded as I received. So I don't know what is the reference, he'll say. And by then already you read it, gone into your system, and then it's all got merged, you don't, see, you're not segregating, without reference these are the statements, and with reference these are the statements, so I'm segregating nicely, there is no such thing. Goes and sits. So that's why we have to ask abhiprushte inquiry. We have to make inquiries. That is called atha brahma jignasa. For devotees, the inquiry is about whether it is coming from the acharya. The inquiry is about how to understand. Like that, there can be many inquiries, many types of inquiries. That's why Prabhupada is saying the process of understanding the Gita is given in the 4th chapter. What is that verse? So tad vidhi pranipatena. Very interestingly, Krishna says pariprashnena. In the process that is to accept the knowledge from a spiritual master, he interestingly mentions that pariprashna should be there, he says. So, if you want to nicely understand the scriptures, we have to ask questions. Pariprashna should be there. Krishnadas Kaviraj Maharaj also says the same thing. One has to discuss apparently controversial topics so that the mind is strengthened. And we can become strongly attached to the Lord. I have seen one devotee, he is confused about who is the original personality. Is it Krishna or is it Narayana? Because it's a minor, ultimately compared to the atheistic philosophies and so many other things that we see, it's a minor confusion in one sense, because both are one Kalevara. Right? So, and he got confused. Because he has gone to Sri Vaishnava Parampara, I'm happy that he's still in some Vaishnava Sampradaya. So, but the point is, he never really discussed, never really introspected, asked these inquiries that how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So devotees have to, you need not to ask anybody outside. Of course, if you can ask and discuss, that's nice, but at least you should have your own internal investigation. We should research into Prabhupada books and get all angles of a particular subject. From various angles Prabhupada is asking us to read, and all those angles Prabhupada has given. But you have to get those various angles by reading Sri Prabhupada books. on a particular subject. Thanks to the current Veda-based whatever you type one keyword, you will get so many quotes of Srila Prabhupada connected to it, gives you the overall nice angles of that particular concept. So devotees have a lot of things to learn, lot of angles to learn. They're all Veda-gītā. They're all Vedic versions given by our spiritual master. And it's all available. So the point is that yes, we should ask inquiries, and that becomes, you'll become very alert while reading. You will retain some information with you. You will acquire the knowledge if you have those questions in mind. After reading a paragraph or a verse or whatever, just ask one question. What is that Prabhupada is trying to say in this paragraph? What are one or two points that I can understand from this? These are the things. Like the other day I was asking some devotees, okay, where did Bhagavad-gītā talks about law of destiny? Where did Bhagavad-gītā talks about law of destiny? Where is that? We always say every action has got opposite equal reaction. Where is that? So these are the questions. But investigate the answers. Otherwise we can go on. Right? We just go on and then we never really connect what we are saying with the Bhagavad-gītā. So, like that. So this one question will trigger, okay, what is that? What is that? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So like that, devotees should be very expert in understanding Prabhupada's philosophy. Then only mind becomes strong. You will become very strengthened. Your convictions will be very strong. Otherwise, either by internal doubts or by external doubts, we become weak. Krishna explains in Bhagavad-gītā, a doubting soul can never be happy. He will be lost not only in this world, but in the next world also, next life also. Right? So then, how careful we should be to nicely build up those concepts in our mind based on Veda-gītā and abhiprushtē, on the basis of inquiries and Vedic versions. You have to go on feeding Vedic versions into your system, which makes you very strong. Right? So, we should not hesitate to question controversial subjects. Like a caste system, Krishna Leelas, with the gopi. Why did he stole garments of gopis when they are taking bath? Or why so many wives? Why this Rasa Leela? There are so many questions people will ask. Actually, justifying Krishna's pastimes is a big thing. Because the Lord has performed, pastimes in such a way that He has completely exhibited that He is the Supreme Personality of God. Not bothered about satisfying our tiny morality. Krishna has a lot of questions. So, devotees, as devotees of Krishna, then we should be very strong to justify our stand. And not on the basis of sentiment or anger. Wow, no. On the basis of Veda-gītā. You should be able to quote verses. Sometimes there's some fellow is saying, no, Vedas, only Narayana name is there, Vishnu name is there, not Krishna. Krishna or later creation. No, he believes in Krishna, but he's saying it's all later, they're all just incarnation. Like we are hearing morning Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Gaura Gosvāmī saying Krishna is coming from Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Some people say like that. Krishna and Balaram are two hairs in the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu's on the head. White and black hair. And they got some verses also. It is true. If it is a Vedic version, it is true. But how do we understand this truth? First is abhiprashte. We have to ask questions. Now how do we know? How do I understand this? That's why we need the help of the parampara coming from Brahmana, Lord Brahma's parampara. We are very fortunate to be connected to Lord's Brahma's parampara. And Prabhupada has very kindly, he has given these books. Took a lot of austerity to produce these books. He used to get up early in the hours and then gave all this knowledge. Amidst his busy schedule, Prabhupada has produced so much of wonderful philosophy. And there is one Vedanta Sutra says, Shastra Yonitvat. It says, Lord reveals himself through the yoni of Shastra. Shastra Yoni. So Krishna is only accessible by all this. And Prabhupada, many times we have seen, we have heard, Vedic principles are beyond any mistake. When we talk, we commit a lot of mistakes, can be misunderstood. But Vedic sounds are beyond any mistake. Recently, one interesting incident happened in Bombay. One passenger is actually a CEO of a US-based company. He is going from Bombay to Delhi and Delhi to Rome, and from Rome to somewhere else, like that is. So he wants to know the status of his flight, Mumbai to Delhi. So he called the receptionist that, see, for everything they have numbers. For status, one number. For any other thing, there's one more number. Ticket related, one more, and like that. So he called the mobile number which talks about the status. So he said, instead of Mumbai, he said, Bombay flight. Bombay flight. Like that he told. That receptionist thought, bomb on Delhi flight? Are you sure? He said, yes, I am sure. Actually, he is asking, bomb BOM is that code for Bombay. Airport code. DEL is Delhi. Instead of pronouncing fully, he said, bomb Del flight. And that woman thought, bomb in Delhi flight? Are you sure? And then he said, yes, I am sure. He said. Police came and arrested him. He said, no, I never said that. So bomb scare on Delhi flight, that's the headline. So this is called mistake. See, of course we don't know whose mistake is that, but we will see. So that's our sounds entangle. You can see clearly. But Vedic sounds. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vedas should not be interpreted. We should take what is known as Mukhya Vritti. Mukhya Vritti means the direct meaning. The direct meaning as found in dictionary. That's called Mukhya Vritti. If you are reading Sanskrit book, you take the standard dictionary. And the direct meaning you should take. You cannot interpret. When Krishna says, surrender unto me, you cannot say me means inside Krishna there is something and you should surrender to him. No. That's not Mukhya Vritti. The dictionary doesn't say Mam means inside you something. No, it doesn't say, the dictionary doesn't say that. So we should only go by Mukhya Vritti, the direct meaning of the Vedic literature. Don't go by the so-called interpretations. And they are all able to justify their sampradaya based on Vedanta Sutra. Then they are bona fide. The Vedanta, so what the sampradaya has to do, they have to have a commentary a bona fide commentary on Vedanta Sutra to prove their version. So all the Sampradayas, Ramanuja, Madhva, even Gaudiya, we all have commentaries of Vedanta Sutra justifying our version. So that means all these versions are there in Vedas. But each Acharya, according to his mood or his attraction or according to the time, place, he reveals a particular, a relevant Sampradaya. Always the revelation is according to time, place and circumstance. So when Ramanujacharya came, he revealed certain concepts based on the people's situation. They're all there, but it's not that Gaudiya elements are not there in the Vedas. They are there always. But Ramanujacharya gave stress on Narayana worship with awe and reverence. But it's there. For example, if you see Alvars, the great Sri Vaishnava saints appeared in Tamil Nadu. They give Tamil Prabandha. It's called Tamil Veda. All the Vedas in Tamil language. So if you see Alvars, and almost 70% of them are their teachings, they all glorify Krishna. It's not that they do not know Krishna. Krishna is ever popular. He's always there. But then he has given Narayana worship, particularly Lakshmi Narayana, or Sitaram Lakshmi. And then Madhvacharya came, very strongly, vehemently he has opposed Mayavada. And then they also believe in Narayana, Lakshmi Narayana. But Madhvacharya, he installed Krishna, but only up to Krishna. Then Madhavendra Puri, he brought in Radha Krishna first time. And from Madhavendra Puri, then you see the Gaudiya comes, Tattva evolves. Slowly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought the humankind to the highest philosophy. Step by step, he brought it. In some of the Alvar songs, you will see Gopi Bhav. They glorify the bhakti of gopis to Krishna. That's Gopi Bhav. So it's there. That Gopi Bhav is there. But that's been glorified, magnified and promoted by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave the highest. Unnata Ujjvala Rasam Sabhaktishya Unnatojjvala Rasa. What is the Rasa? Unnata Ujjvala Rasa. The highest Rasa, that is Madhurya. That is been given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which no other incarnation or Acharya able to give. So he presented the highest Madhurya Ujjvala Rasam Sabhaktishya. How do you get that Madhurya Bhakti? By worshipping Lord Chaitanya. So it's like that. So it's all available in the Vedas, but then Acharyas have given some elements of it based on the time, place and circumstance. Our proof is by Veda, Bhagavad-gītā. If we can prove from Vedic statements, then you have proved it. Our proof is not the so-called experimentation. Our proof is Vedic proof. Understood? There are scientists, they don't believe in this Vedic proof. So they are working hard by investigating rocks and earth and bones. They are digging the bones. Like dogs, they dig the bones. They'll be digging the bones. Right? You have seen dogs, they'll be digging the bones. So people have adapted those animalistic proofs. Otherwise, it's only the Vedic this thing. As of today, the scientist doesn't know where is the boundary of universe. They have no idea. They cannot say this is the edge or the end of this universe. They are unable to say. As of today, Wikipedia boldly declares that as of now there is no clarity on the boundary. They are unable to give the boundary for one universe. Now we are talking about so many other things. So that's why, and particularly nowadays, the scientific theories and their announcements and proclamations and all that become a source of fun. They all become humorous, embarrassments. That's all. What they say today, tomorrow, day after, there is no guarantee that they will remain. You keep saying one day they will say, our body, if it is getting exposed to Wi-Fi, you will get cancer. Now they won't say, after that they will say. And government will announce we are increasing cancer hospitals to 100 or 200 to take care of the load, enhanced load. So, because they have no idea what are the repercussions of what they are doing, it will all be cancerous. So let us pray, let us see.